Welcome, everyone. This is our joining session for all the Chapter 20 pairs that are joining with Chapter 20 of Jesus, a New Covenant, to review desires, beliefs and desires with Jesus and with our brother together. What Jesus has been showing me is the power, the simplicity, and the speed of joining with Jesus and my brother in light on a consistent basis. And so what's important about joining on chapter 20 is to be consistent with it, to make this commitment to ourselves, this is something that we have made the commitment to do daily for an hour. And this is under the guidance of Jesus to do this. And so this session is just for us to share what we've been learning when we're going over these desires together. And we have kind of a little, we have a list of questions that we posted with the invite for this session that, Mary, if you want to read those, we can.
Yeah, there's some things coming up I wanted to share too.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is, and we hear at the center, the devotional center, we say it over and over again, the power of joining and join. And the joining express and the, asking for someone to join with on the messenger site. And then, like Renee was saying, we join to do chapter 20 and many other joinings during the day here. And what I'm hearing is just over and over again, the power of joining in a moment of light, or joining with a mighty companion and calling in Jesus to show us the way, and getting still and quiet and checking within. And so there's the checking within with Jesus, and then there's joining with the mighty, and in honesty of God, and looking at all of this is just, there's just no, we keep talking about it, and yet from my experience of doing it, there's hardly words to describe the power of it. And what I see is Jesus and the voice for God and my mighty bring up things that I would not have thought of. Oh, I can do this, Jesus. I don't have a partner, but I'm off by myself. It's all okay. No, I mean, it may be okay. However, I just keep hearing, and it's over and over and over again, my experience, that the experience here, that joining brings up, what I'm hearing is revelation. It brings up expansion. It brings up the quickening of the acceptance of seeing things differently, that just doing it by ourselves does not bring up.
Yeah, and this is to get us started, to have a dialogue with Jesus so that it's natural, because a part of a desired experience for me has been to when I'm receiving guidance, I'm hearing guidance, but then there's hesitation in speaking what I hear and following through with all the guidance. And so this is like a way to practice to do that. And so he's starting us out with, in the workbook lessons, he starts us out with 5 minutes a day, and then we progress until we're, thinking of God all day long. And so this is kind of the same. It's looking at all these desires that we have, and they're below our level of awareness. So we just invite Jesus to show us so that we can admit them, and then we can ask for miracles for these desires so that we can release them and be free of these desires, and just share in the joy that that's here.
Yeah, two other quick thoughts that are coming through on what you said, and one is this is another way to practice listening to that inner voice for God, and this is what it's all about. And here at the center, our mantra is, what is the voice for God saying? What is Jesus saying? And so it's like, until we become so practiced in asking within and checking within, so that it does, like Renee said, it's our first thought instead of So yeah, this is training and all of that, and the commitment to do it once a day. What I found and what I still find is that that commitment kind of lines up my whole day. It's like, whoa, okay, at 2:00, I'm joining with my companion, my partner. We're doing the chapter 20, and that's it every day. I'm committed to that. And of course, yeah, here at the center, it's like 24/7. I've likened it to like the banks of the river that hold my attention and my focus. And that's the way chapter 20 is for me.
Yeah, it's deep contemplation, and just the willingness to look and ask for help, and see where I'm denying myself help, denying myself love, and then one of the questions we have is like the third one.
Yeah. Are there some desires that seemed easier or harder to release to miracles? That was my favorite of the three questions that we want to look at each time we join here.
Yeah, because what came up this week was one of the related to one of the desires we were looking at was the desire to separate cause and effect, and that desire is one of those desires that is related to this question, where I didn't, there was resistance at first to looking at this, and but I see just how when we're joining, we just stay with it. We just stay with the desire, and we just we see the power that we have and the determination that we have just to look at the desire, and then hear what Jesus has to say about it through our brother, and directly, just to have that direct experience that cause and effect are not separate, that they are one, is powerful. So
yeah, two things. I seem to be on twos today. One is, and hopefully I can remember the second one by the time I finish with the first one, but what we really focus on here at the center, and we join at least twice a day in a group for an hour and a half to look at desires that have come up, that Jesus is telling us, what is most useful for the healing of my mind, Jesus, right now. Then we all listen, and we speak what we're hearing, and then we ask Jesus which desire to look at. And then I just want to say that there's such power in just the willingness to look. It seems like, oh, well, I'm supposed to solve this problem, or this is a problem. I believe in the ego. This is a problem, and I have to do something about it. No. Just being willing to look at and see the relishing, not the reliving of the experience of that desire, but the relishing of that desire is really key. And this comes up in the chapter 20 guidance sheet. The willingness just to look at it, and then get to the point where we're all listening to Jesus, and we're hearing and seeing how much we relish this. And then it gets down to, do we see the golem or the little devil with the horns jumping up and down? Yes, I've got you on this one. And willing to see how much we want it. And then asking Jesus, are we really ready and willing to see this differently right now? And the power of that to begin to lighten up this load we carry around in our minds, in our subconscious mind, usually, about all the desires and beliefs. And I have a little cough. I have a desire to be identified with the body, and my belief is that when I lose sleep, I'm going to get a cough. Well, I've been losing some sleep, experimenting with getting up earlier. We get up anyway at 5:40 for 6 o'clock. I do at 5:40 for 6 o'clock contemplation. I've been getting up a little bit earlier just to dialogue on the computer with Jesus. And so I've been getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. That's not within Mary's radar. So I just wanted to mention that. The goal or the desire that my partner and I looked at this week was the desire for an ego. You believe the ego exists. And that was one of the ones that, the last question, are there some desires that seemed easier or harder to release to miracles? And that was one of the desires that I had a harder time releasing to a miracle. And until we start looking, we don't realize how pervasive some of these beliefs and desires are. And I noticed my mind wanting to wander. You know, I didn't want to, I was like, you know, not wanting to look, and then bringing it back and bringing it back. And then just be willing to ask and listen, and then speak what we were hearing.
Yeah, what I was hearing before, you know, I was talking to him about this session, and one of the things he was reminding me is just that this is just such a it's so helpful, because we usually want to go into the story, but it's a way to stay out of the story. And then we just let him, we just give it over to him, and he guides us through what is most helpful to look at the moment. And so it's real fine tuning of hearing Jesus, and then speaking and following the guidance in each moment by moment. And so, yeah, because the desires are to do the exact opposite, anything but that. So it's good, because it's giving, like, what I see is just this contrast between what I have, my idea of what healing is, what it looks like, and then to see that I really need his help to show me all of this, because I can so quickly and easily get caught up in a story of what's going on based on my interpretation of the process. So yeah, he's keeping us out of the story. He's empowering us with so that we can see that his voice is our voice, that it's natural, which I just need that reminder constantly, because there's this desire to limit that voice. That was another thing we kind of looked at this morning. yeah, it's just rich. It's, I mean, every desire, every belief and desire in consciousness is given in A Course in Miracles. And then this is like a, I don't know, what's the best word for like chapter 20, and it's
bringing all these
Yeah.
desires and beliefs that are found in A Course in Miracles, but not maybe all in one place in the Course.
Yeah.
So it's taking all these desires, and I think there's like 142 or something that we look at and bring them in one place. I have a belief that the ego exists, and then my desire is an experience of having an ego and the effects of the idea. That it is real. Thus, you desire to experience all the effects of the miscreation of an ego thought system. Whoa. Wow. That's big. The ego thought system and everything. It's like, yeah, everything I think I know and believe is the ego thought system. And, how does one go about separating from that and allowing the miracle to come through? And that was something that I was hearing just now, that I noticed that sometimes that I want to delay accepting the miracle. And what is that all about? And it's like, okay, Jesus, I can still feel that, like there's some vestiges here of wanting an ego thought system. I mean, la, 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 so what is this about delaying the miracle? And there again, that's a desire. It's a desire to delay the miracle. It's a desire not to want to take responsibility for my mind and just say, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or Jesus, check in with me next week, or, I got this and this and this to do. So yeah, this delaying of the miracle, and what is that all about? It's an interesting place to look also as a desire, for a desired experience.
Yeah, that's why to have a partner is so important, because we keep each other out of the delay. It's like, okay, this is the moment now, and we're looking together and we're staying on this, and yeah, there's this is it.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes we kind of joke about it, or Mary jokes about it. I'm like, well, we need to go with this one 30 more times. And it's like, it's like, oh, I'm still hanging on. I'm not releasing. And it's really important to be honest about that, because if we just say, oh, well, here's my partner, and I'm supposed to do this. No, that's pretending. And it's really important to be honest about, with yourself and with God, and with your partner, about willingness to see this differently. And so there's some of them in our light circles here, our joinings, where we will go for an hour and a half. And if they're of the whole group of us, if there are a few that are just not ready to accept the miracle, then we may go at it again in another joining session, and just go at it again, so that, this whole process, the purpose of all of this is to release all the blocks to the awareness of love. And we don't see them. And until we're willing to look at them, and in chapter 20, it just goes through, and some of them sound very similar, but there's just a different twist on it that the ego mind wants to make up to block hearing Jesus' voice, and block love. So that we have a number of sets of partners that are joining right now. And I can see today that even though an invitation went out, not everybody, some thought they might be able to join, and so forth. So we're going to be doing this. We're doing this. We've been guided to do this every 2 weeks on Saturday at 11 o'clock. And so this will be posted and sent out to the chapter 20 partners if they want to look at some of this. And they are in touch with Renee, in touch with me, in touch with the center about their experiences. And we also have videos, any number of videos on chapter 20 joinings with partners sharing what they've been hearing from Jesus about looking deeply at desires and beliefs and then releasing them to a miracle. So yeah, this is, it's really rich. It's so rich when others can join with us here on this, in this format on Saturdays. And this is just the second one we've done.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was hearing, is that it's helpful to record yourself if you can. So that's why we're doing these live sessions, is that it's when we, you know, we invite Jesus, and this is the invitation to see what's true. And just it's so it's so it's helpful to just be really present with that, and you know, be with Jesus on when you're meeting, and the frequency, and joining us when you can. This is really the most important thing, is to get these desires cleared. Well, the more you do it, the more you see that it's the way.
It works.
It works. It's consistent, and the ego is doing everything to. The ego is like, the ego thought system is to do everything exactly the opposite of that. so there's that contrast again. So it's just helpful to see that you have the power to join, and to see directly how that works, and it's this practice of asking and then speaking, and to just keep following that guidance, and keep staying with it no matter what it looks like. Yeah, just we're here, we're 24/7 joining, and we're available there's Joining Express, which is another opportunity to join with those at the center, and with each other through our messenger group. And then I have been joining with the new partners. And if you're watching this and you don't have a partner, we can join with you on that as well. The messenger group, the Joining in Light, through the Joining in Light devotional center page, has everyone, all our light circles when we're joining, our events and what's going on. And then if you want a partner and you don't have one, then you can connect with me or connect with us through our messenger group if you want to be added to that too. That's another option. So yeah, and we're just going to keep doing these every 2 weeks on Saturday at 11. So
yeah, and as Jesus has so often told us, this is for us.
Yeah.
We're listening to guidance now, and we're speaking what we're hearing, and we're all joined together on this journey, if you will, together. And it's not like we've got all the answers or we're doing it perfectly or blah blah blah. We're all joined in it together to share And yeah, the only thing we can share is that voice for God. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us after we've completed this.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly hope to see you on Saturdays and hear from you. Like, what is it you're hearing from Jesus? And what is it what questions do you have about talking with Jesus and hearing that voice? Because that's one of the biggest seemingly desires we have, is not to hear the voice for God. Oh yeah, I want to talk to Jesus. I want to awaken. And yet when we start digging deeper, we see that we put up all these reasons why not. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the opportunity to share with everyone, and also record if you
Yeah.
can. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really helpful. Okay.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Love
Thank
you.